I was gonna do 5 videos, but I think this like last one, the like third check is not one that would take that long to like really talk about. So, first, under Eric Ten Hag, did we see any improvement in 2 years, 2.5 years that he was here? Not really. Like, we actually saw like a decline, right? Because his first season we finished high, second season we finished like eighth or something like that, and then he got fired because he was 12th in the league at the point. So there was no like clear like improvement, no clear playing style. So that's what Amorim comes into, and then you look at what we've looked at from when he got here to now. If you tell me that there isn't improvement, and it's been less than a year, so it's been less than a year, and halfway through that year, it's like someone threw a wrench into the whole thing and slowed it down. So it kind of sucks for him. I think this is part of the reason why coming in halfway is really extremely hard, especially in the situation that he had to come into our team. Because if he came into the preseason how he came in this season, right? Like, you get rid of Ten Hag in November, December, and let's say you give the keys to Michael Carrick, or you would have given them to Van Nistelrooy, and you let him have the keys for the rest of the year, and depending on how Van Nistelrooy does, you either give him the position or you get your guy. But if Amorim shows up in the summer, you have a team, right? Like, the season is starting, and you have a team that has Cunha, Mbomo, Sesko, right? Like, let's say everything that has gone through still goes through, right? Us as fans are going into the season like, oh, okay, let's take a look. Let's see how the season goes. Let's see improvement, all of that stuff, right? The problem is we saw improvement from when he took over in November to the first like 2 or 3 preseason games. And then we got Mbomo, right? And now we go from just having to integrate one player into our team, really, right? From that team that was playing since Aaron took over till now, we went from having to integrate just one player to 2, right? And then not only that, we went from having a true number 9 up front to not, right? So we've been we haven't scored as much because we haven't had a true number 9. But like, we're still playing better. So you know what I mean? So like, it's like, for me, the 9 is so important in his system and his style of play, because one, he needs them to like take on channels, right? Like, certain channels he wants them to be out on the wing a good amount of time, like, because the runs that they make and the space that's open in his formation, like, that 9 has to be able to get into the space. And the second thing that the 9 in his formation has to do is be able to dribble, and I think that's why Højlund ended up leaving, because I don't think that he hated or disliked Højlund. I just think he didn't have a certain aspect to his game yet that he needed. And the only thing is, I think Højlund will improve in that aspect, but not fast enough, because I think Sesko's already pretty close to being there. Like, his dribbling is already better than Højlund's. Like, his hold-up play, all of that stuff is already a little bit, like, a level above Højlund. So they're both the same age, but he's already a little bit further developed than Højlund, and that's just the biggest thing for this formation. Let's say, for this style of play, I think Højlund, if you are requiring an old school number 9 where it's a little bit of hold up play, but just like getting yourself into the box and just like doing a dash towards the goalkeeper, and then you're like spamming crosses in there and he's just getting the end of it, he would kill in something like that, because he makes good runs. He does kill himself to get there. So he's a good player. I think Højlund's a good player. I just think, one, last year he had Ahmad and Garnacho behind him, which is a little bit unfair to him, because they're not experienced and they're not super creative for other players yet. I mean, Garnacho was better than Ahmad, but Ahmad hasn't shown me enough to like create for others in himself yet. I think it's gonna get there, because I did see it in the championship. I just need to see a little bit more in the in the higher levels, which he will get to because he's still young. But it was unfair on him. But whatever. You look at that and you look at, have we improved, right? Like, my third check, have we improved since he took over? As like in his formation, in his style, and the play, and the speed of our play, and the way we look, how like everything have we? Yeah, we have. And the funny thing is like everything I see is about like like results, right? We're not even a year into him being here. We're not even a full year into him being here, and we're demanding results. That's the problem with Manchester United, and it's like really annoying that the fans and the channels that are Manchester United related are like really focused on this result stuff. I get it. Like numbers are something that right now in this period of time we're freaking obsessed with. It's really annoying because like you focus so much on these numbers that you don't really understand football, in my opinion. You're so focused on just looking at a number and saying, well, this player is good because of these numbers. You're not like, oh, this player is good because this player is actually good. You're just looking at these numbers. And you have to have both. Like there has to be the eye test, and then it has to be the like the stats and the data to back it up, right? For me, the numbers are more of a backup to what you can believe than for that to be your number one like reasoning for somebody being good. Like I think if you look at a player and you like, oh, that player is really good, and then you can look at the stats and the stats back it up, is more of a correlation to me than if he has good stats and then I go look at the player. Like to me, that's because some stats could be very team very team driven, like depending on formations and stuff, so it could be misleading at times. So stats to me aren't the only thing, man. It has to be the eye test. It has to be checking to see if they have the IQ. Do they make the right runs? Are they in the right positioning? During like plays and things, are they making the right decision? All of that stuff to me is more important than just the stats. Stats back up are more of like an extra to me than like being like the number one or the guide towards anything. For me, the eye test and like seeing it is the more important thing. And the everything in our team is clicking. Like it's showing, yes, like except for the result. Like like I said in the other video, just take the results themselves out of the equation for now, just for now, right? Have we gotten better? Have we looked better, right? Yes. Has there been clear improvement in our style of play and the way we play? And the eye test for me, yes. Before, like, there's multiple timelines. I feel like, right, like from Amorim taking over to Ipswich. During that time period, those games, I thought we like just looked lost, right? You just saw players like trying to like figure out where they needed to be in the system and all that stuff, and getting used to the system, all of that stuff. From Ipswich to the end of the season, there was a switch in at least being able to go forward and creating chances, right? Like there was a clear you just saw it from there on. It was just a more consistent level of like being able to go forward, like from the back, and then creating chances. And then we miss chances. And then you go from preseason till now. The only problem with me with the results is that from preseason to like from all of this up until preseason, up until the second like game of preseason, was almost the same team, right? Like except for Acuna, this right here was the same exact team. There was nothing, and they were improving. Then you look at the results, like that stopped after those first two games, right? Because those first two games, like I said, we only had Cunha as a new player in those first two games, and we looked extremely good. We scored goals, so both of those things happened. We had a true number 9, and then after that, we started going with that front three of Cunha, and Bomo and Mount, which isn't a bad front three, but there's not for the style that we play, right? Because you need somebody that's a big body in this formation, because in those first two games when you were watching and people were like impressed with Højlund and how the start had happened, is because he was finally doing what Amorim needs his players to do, right? So there's a really like interesting, I mean, it's something that teams could know and that teams probably do know. It's not something that is hidden, but when Lenny passes the ball out, this is just a quick little like example of it. He'll pass the ball out to the right wing back, whoever it might be, Ahmad or Dallo, and they pass the ball back. That pass back, Lenny has looked up the field and has like identified a certain space, right? When Hoyland was playing as our number 9 in those first couple of games, Lenny was just hitting a ball into that space, into that area. Hoyland at times wasn't even in that area yet. He was like getting there. And then sometimes he was already like holding his defender, right? But you saw what like having that big size number 9 up front that can, fight off a center back did for the style of play that we're going to be playing. Because that space is going to be open regardless, right? You like when you look at formations and how they're going to attack and try to like high press us, there's going to be space there in that area because you have Mbomo that's going to be up high, right? You have Ahmad coming back. So you have your left back on Mbomo most likely, and you have Ahmad, your left mid on Ahmad, right, as your right wing back. So when Ahmad comes back to get that ball, left mid goes with him. And Mbomo stays like maybe goes out wide a little bit and is given the space behind Ahmad so that Lenny could play the ball over the top to Mbomo. And then that space from Mbomo into the center half of the field, there's space there. There's always going to be space. It's like almost impossible for any team to like take away that space because then you're just leaving other players open because the midfielders are a little bit further back, leaving that space open. So when you look at those games, Lenny almost didn't even look sometimes to see if anybody was there. He just knew that that's where the player is supposed to be and that he knew that he was going to be. And so he just played it sometimes without even looking like he looked to see if he was there. He just played it into that space, and it led to Hoyland doing flicks around corners and us going down and like just looking extremely dangerous, and Ahmad and Bowen and them flying down the wings. That's something we're missing right now. Since Hoyland going to the bench and leaving and Sesko not starting yet, that's what we've been missing. And we've been missing it, especially because Xerxes was also coming back from like injury. I think Xerxes would have been playing the 9 instead of Hoyland once that situation and Hoyland was going to leave. But that's like what's happened in that little time period, which sucks for Amorim because that's hurt our results, right? Like the Hoyland leaving and not having a true number 9 has affected the results end of what we've been doing, but it hasn't affected anything else. Like we're creating chances still, we're doing all this stuff, and we look good. So then, do the stats back them up? Yeah, the stats showed us at like number 1 touches inside of the opposition box, chances created, like shots. Like we were top 5 in like almost all of the like top categories that you want as an attacking team. So like both the eye test and the numbers are backing up that we have shown improvement. So I just sit here and I think to myself, like, what is this? Like, yes, I get that the results matter, but we're not even 1 full year into Amorim's tenure. We're not even 1 full year. And then poor guy gets 3 good, like, really good players that he wants, but gets them at a time that is just going to make results be a little bit tougher. And I hope that the people that run Manchester United understand this, because I think they do, because they've been backing him since last season, even when all the media and these like United channels say whatever they said. It was crazy to me. It was just crazy. It's been crazy to me how we've allowed the media to just like tell us what to think, and these guys just continue to just add flame, add oil to the fire or whatever to the fire. It's not been as bad. It hasn't even been a year, and we already know what kind of like what formation we're playing. We already know that a style that we're playing. We know that once Cunha and Bomo and Sesko have more than a month together, like they're going to understand how each other plays, and that goals will come. If we're creating the chances, goals will come. And the reason why I say that is this: when you first start playing with people, you don't know exactly where they might want the ball. You don't know how they might even pass you the ball. You don't know what they're capable of, right? It's an unknown. So scoring goals is an extremely hard thing to do. I would hope that people understand that. That's why games end 0-0. Like, scoring goals is hard. The reason how you score goals is because there's nothing that is slowing you down in the moment, and you have the right type of players, honestly, right? Because that matters. Like tactics, players, IQ, creativity. But for all of that, it doesn't work without like chemistry and understanding of each other. You might be the best player in the world, but if you're used to your left midfielder making a certain run in certain situations, and you go to play that pass, but that new left midfielder isn't making that same run in that same situation, now you slow down. Now you might have to take an extra touch or two because what your plan was isn't there anymore. So that's what happens when you first start playing with anybody. Now think about it at the highest level. At the highest level, you have to have that chemistry. You have to know at least the players that you're playing with, because when it comes down to that split decision, you're gonna know what to expect at least. When you don't even know what to expect at least, you're screwed. Like, it makes the chance harder. Like, for example, Ahmad, right? Like, you look at that at the pass from Mbomo to Ahmad. That to me is just not knowing how each other play just yet, right? Like, Ahmad hasn't played with another left-footed player like him in that position. He hasn't played as right wing back. This is his first season really doing that, so that's gonna take some time. But during that run, and Mbomo flicks it with the outside of his left foot. Yes, it's a tough chance. It's gonna be hard, but if Ahmad has played with him more, right? Like, now that play is in Ahmad's head. So now he's going to be thinking next time he's running that hard, because, right, he's running full speed, right? And the ball comes in, it's skipped, going full speed, not expecting the ball to be skipped like that is going to be it's going to make it harder for you to take the chance, right? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. If Ahmad is running down and he's already experienced that in his head, and he goes, okay, this pass might come in like this, he's gonna at least have all the options now. Like, okay, cool. So he's making that run. If he knows that ball is gonna come in a skip like that, because it's gonna come from Mbomo's left foot like that, he's gonna do better. He's gonna do better at trying to take that chance and at least hitting the target than what he did. That's what's stopping. Those kind of little things are what is stopping us from taking the chances right now, because we completely changed our front three. If we still had the same front three as last season and we were creating as many chances as we are and we weren't scoring, then I would sit here and be like, okay, we have a basis for this. But this is a brand new starting three since Højlund got sat and Mason Mount and Bomo and Cunha started up front. That's been a completely brand new starting three than we had at any point up to that point, till the season started pretty much. That was the first time they've really played. How do you expect them to know all of that stuff right away? If it was one of them being integrated, right? Liverpool is having it, aren't scoring as many goals right now as they're probably going to start scoring soon. I think they're going to start absolutely dominating the league just because they were allowed to do some unreal stuff. To be able to purchase Etiquette and Isak and Wirtz, that's ridiculous, because they already had a ridiculous team, and the only players they lost were a couple of defenders, and they got good defenders to back that up. It's crazy. They've built an absolutely ridiculous team, but once Wirtz, Ekatike, and Isak are all flying, and instead of is he gonna pass that ball? He knows that it is gonna come in, and he's gonna make the run instead of, oh, should I make this run because I don't know if he's gonna make that pass. That kind of stuff leads to goals, man. And the more and more you play with each other, and the more that chemistry, the faster and faster you can play. When no thinking is involved, when the less and less thinking is involved, it's the faster and faster that you could play as a player. That's just the God honest truth in any sport. So think about it. The more and more, even anything really, the more and more that you do something, and the more that you do it, the faster you are at it, the better you are at it. That's why people become masters after years and years and years and years and years of doing something. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a month. It doesn't happen in 2 months. We are looking at stuff in such a small window that it's annoying. Like, the amount of time is annoying, but the signs are there. And for me, like, for the remaining of the season, I don't want to hear anything from our fans or our like YouTube channels and stuff about Amorim being fired. Like, none of this shit should be coming from us. Like, they want to put it in the media, I don't care. One bad results, okay, you guys do it in the media, but not us. We should be backing him for the rest of the season, as long as we continue to see the things that we are seeing right now. If we can continue to see the things that we are seeing right now, improvement, and now towards the end of the season, like from December on, in my opinion, is when the results are something that need to be more looked at. But until then, it's unfair. We got a brand new starting three up front. Like, our team doesn't even have a backbone to it yet, right? Like, we haven't even gotten to the point where we could build a backbone and then add players to it and make it seamless or less hard, right? For example, like, Liverpool are having a hard time with it, but they're still top of the league because they have like a core, right? And that core has changed like a little bit throughout the years, but it doesn't change that fast, right? So you come in and you get a core of Van Dijk, Salah, Robertson, Arnold, right? Alexander Arnold. Those five, right? Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, Robertson, Alexander Arnold. Even just those five, right? And I would even put Milner in there, because Milner was there for like 4 or 5 years where he was starting or a crucial player in the locker room or like player. So you had like 6 players, 5 that were starters pretty much every week, and 1 that was like a starter, like half bench, who was like important for the leadership qualities. That's the backbone that they've had, and they've continued that backbone. And now, yes, they've gotten rid of some of that, right? Like, they got, Alexander Arnold and Robertson both left, but they had added to that. They had added McAllister to that, because now McAllister has been at Liverpool. Is this his 4th season or is it his 3rd season? But this is, let's say it's his 3rd season, right? At least it's been 2 full seasons already with that core. Yes, they leave, but now you are kind of like a piece of that core, right? Konate, another piece of that core, because he's been there for quite a bit. He started like last year, and then I think the year before. I don't really follow Liverpool like that, but there's like a core of players that have been there that like make up that core that like Lucho up to this year also, like, they left. But they had that core. That's why those teams could be so good. That's why they get there. Even the teams that you saw, like Brentford, that made it up high, Nottingham Forest, like all the teams that are hard to beat in the league have a core. Like, you can point at a group of 5 players at least that are starters that have been there for 3-4 years starting, right? Like, as a group, those same 5 with different players around them, but there's a core of like people that are there, and then you're just adding. We don't have that. We don't have that at all. Like, we are building it, but we haven't even allowed him to build a core yet. We changed the whole thing around on him before the season started. So, and it's not really his fault. It's just the timing of when he came in and all that stuff. So it just sucks. But we haven't even built a core, and we're building it. And I think the core we're building is an extremely like fun one and interesting one, right? When you look at it, I think the main core right now that is being built is like gonna be, now I would imagine, depending on how, like, what he becomes, but Semi Lemons, right? Like, at keeper, De Ligt and Euro are gonna be, I mean, Euro is definitely De Ligt. I don't know if he'll remain our center back. I think Euro, I think that those two should. I think their partnership is pretty good. I think they're both good, very good players. So, but like those 3 with like Sesko, like, and Sesko, because he's gonna be here a long time. He's like younger, and Dorgu. Like, I think those 5 players could be here for 10 years, let's say. But then you would have a core of like players that are at least here for like, let's say, this year we finished, like my personal, like what I want to see is inside of the top 10, but to continue to shoot, like show the improvement, start to score goals past like I would love to start scoring now, like goals like now 100%, but demanding and like looking into them more once December's, like from December on, maybe even like January, like the end of the year, like from January 1st till the end of the year is when I would focus more on results and like goals scored and all that stuff. Right now, while those guys are still being integrated and stuff, I just need the consistency of the play to continue, to create chances still, to be top 5 in all those statistics that we are, to continue that up until December. If we can, obviously we have to get results, and if we continue to be top 5 in those statistics against other teams that aren't like the top teams, or like most of the time we're gonna get results, bro. Like I'm not afraid to go up against anybody that's not Liverpool, Man City. I mean, Chelsea, I think, are playing really good. They're in a good position right now. So the next game I'm a little nervous about, but I'm not scared to play them. Those are City and Liverpool, are the only two teams that I personally am scared of, because they have the most talent, but they also have like a core of players that have been there a long time now. Like City has done the same thing. They've just been slowly, it just changes over time. It is how it goes, right? Like we under Sir Alex had the core of like Neville, like Giggs, Scholes, like Neville, like all these guys for so long, right? Like there were stages and different like cores, but there was always a core. There was always a core group of players, right? Ferdinand, Vidic, Evra, Scholes, Giggs, those 6 core right there, like always there, like for all the championships that we won, core. But we were interchanging Tevez, Berbatov, Rooney, Cristiano, Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie. We interchanged like pieces in that puzzle, but we kept that main core the same. And until Amorim is even allowed to create that, it's unfair to like demand results, right? But I think he's building it. I honestly just he shouldn't even be considered fired, like fired or talked about being fired until the end of the season. Like, let's see what happens. But if what I'm seeing continues, I'm gonna want to see another year. Like I'm gonna want to see him get a guy like Baleba so that he can fill that one hole in the midfield, and then see if he could challenge after that. Like if we finish top 10, inside the top 10, and statistically we're still up there, we're creating chances after like in January going forward, like we're consistently scoring, like putting away like a solid amount of chances, then I know like the improvement is continuing. But this man hasn't even been here a year. There's been clear like things that you could see and all that stuff. So why are we trying to get rid of him and start over again when it's really not that bad? It's just the results right now. There's nothing other than results right now that are bad. Do you guys understand that? Like I get that you're like, oh well, results matter. I know. But what I'm saying is we're like at a time where the last thing that we need is results. Do you understand that? Like the last thing that we're looking for now is results. Like, well, maybe not the last. Like obviously like getting that core and then finishing the actual build of our team, that's gonna be that last piece of the puzzle before I'm like demanding results. Like we haven't even finished building a team, but the results, like if we're playing at this level and the results aren't there, like I don't want him gone. Like I want him to have enough time to get, like, to have his players like gel enough to see if we can make the stats that are showing up early in the season into goals. Like I can't get mad at what's going on so far this season. Like we've played pretty well. Like I think 80% of the Premier League game time has been a very good level, and then there's been 20% where like it's been inconsistent, but that's what you get from a not built team. But is that better than last year when at first it started with like 30% good play and like 70% bad play. Like, yeah, man, like it's been a lot. It's a big improvement. Now we have to get to the point of like 90% good play, 10% bad play, right? Inconsistency. That's the level that I want to get to this year. And if we can keep that, if we can keep the level that we're at now, and we can get to up to 90% of the time, like we're consistently playing well, creating chances, all that, the results will come. So like we're building up to that. I'm not getting rid of this guy while we're finally building something. Like, no, man, let him at least like build his ship and then let him go to battle and see if he can win it. Like, let's see it. Because the players that are coming in are not bad players. They're not players that only fit one system and can't play for another manager. They're not things like that. But like, let him build it. Let him build like the squad. Let those players get acquainted with each other, to play with each other, to get chemistry, and then let's go, man. Because I'm just tired of our fan base. I'm tired of the media. I'm tired of this. One loss or losses mean that Amorim needs to go. Like, I see like a video with like a caption saying, "Oh, if we lose the next 2 games, what happens to Amorim?" Bro, like that's not what we should be focused on, man. We should be focused on like, all right, like the performances and just wait until at least the end of the season to make a freaking decision on like getting rid of a manager, bro. We don't have a good enough team to be winning the Premier League this year. So what's the point of getting rid of a manager? Like, let him at least get the season, let him build his team and see if we actually have what I think we have in our hands, which is our next manager for the next 20 years. So like, let's give him some time, man. This is just getting so ridiculous. I think tomorrow, City, I think we win. And then Chelsea, like I said, I'm a little nervous to play them because they're playing well, but I don't even feel like we just, like, it's an automatic loss. Like, let's see what happens, man, but I will still back Amorim if the performances are like this, even if the results don't come. Like, I'm going to back him even if the results don't come, as long as the performances and everything that's being done continues to be done how it's being done. I really will. And that's how the fans should be. And that's honest, because we can't continue to keep tearing it down and rebuilding, rebuilding it. It just doesn't happen, and there's just no manager out there that can fix that like that in a year. There's just no manager out there that can do it. No manager. Now if they were to come in just because we have better players and they would get a full year with them from today, they would look better than Amorim because they're getting the team today instead of what Amorim took over then. That's the freaking biggest difference, is that like all the work that has been done until now would benefit the manager that would take over Amorim. That's the only thing. So that's just annoying. Like, there was a lot of work done from the time he took over till now. And now it's like, really, when we can judge from now till the end of this season is when we should judge the football, the results, all that stuff at the end of this season. But last season was like putting out fires, like creating a culture, like creating a freaking everything. And then now from this season on, from this full season should be a season where he gets the full year, and we focus on what he does this season. Like, what happened last season, the results, all that stuff, cut it off. Like, just cut it off. This was a dumpster fire and a burning, let's say a burning, sinking ship. That's what this was over here. And it was at least steadied, right? This thing went from burning, sinking to steadied, right? Like, that's what happened last season under Amorim. Now that the ship is steadied, let's at least give it some time on the water to see if it fucking can float, man. Like, just please. That's it. That's my rant for that. And that's the last part of these videos. This is why I kind of wanted to break it down. This would be the last video anybody sees, and it's the longer one. So if you were interested in the first few and wanted to hear everything here, you can watch the whole thing. But that's how I wanted to like do this little thing. It felt good to me. But I'll catch you guys next time. If you have any different opinions, please share them in the comments. I'll read them. I'll interact. Talk to you later.